someone's pet is joining our Zoom. Okay. Great. 네, 지금 유튜브 라이브로 진행되고 있는 이번 프로그램은 제11회 부산국제춤마켓 비미팅 챌린지 프로그램입니다. 이번 프로그램에서는 2020 비담 스페셜 델리게이터 국내외 춤 전문 스페셜 델리게이터 분 5분과 그리고 5분과 그리고 지금 청춤 챌린지 올해 청춤 챌린지에 참가해 주신 6팀의 아티스트들이 함께 모여서 작품에 대한 이야기를 나누고 올해의 챌린저를 선정하는 그런 프로그램입니다. 진행에 앞서서 델리게이터 분들의 소개를 한번 들어보도록 하겠습니다. Good morning, everyone, and good night for Cyrus. Would you like to introduce briefly about yourself one by one? Maybe starts with, in my square, I can see Lian. Introduce yourself first, please.
Hello, here is 6:30 a.m. I'm Jan Jurek from Olomouc, from Czech Republic. I'm director of the venue and organization called Divadlo na Cucky. We are artistic run organization. We do a lot of residencies and guest performances, and we really like collaboration with BIDAM. So last year we hosted some Korean artists, and I've visited Korea, Busan and Seoul in last years. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy for this collaboration.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Would you continue?
Certainly. Good morning, everybody. My name is Laura Kuhlman. I'm coming to you from Madrid. It's 6:30 in the morning as well. I direct an association called Paso a Dos, Plataforma Coreográfica, and we have been running for the last 34 years a national platform for new work and contemporary dance, where we are supporting emerging artists, especially looking for people who have creative potential, and we connect them with a large network of venues, residencies, and scholarships. And we have been doing this now for over 3 decades. We also participate in European programs as well as Aerowaves. And this is the first time that I am participating in BIDAM. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm learning a great deal by looking at all of this interesting work.
Thank you very much. Absalom?
Hi, my name is Absalom Polak. I'm in Tel Aviv at the moment. It's 7:30 here. I have a dance theater company, which is on my name. I was working with my partner in Balpinto for more than 20 years, and we visit Busan and Seoul a few times. And it's my first time as a delegate in this kind of event, and it's really interesting for me to see all of you, to meet you, and to have some kind of conversation about what you do in these troubled times.
Thank you. Now I see Cyrus.
Hi, good evening and good morning. I am Cyrus Kambata. I'm here in Seattle, the United States, the top left corner of the United States, not far from Vancouver, Canada, if you know where that is. I am the artistic director of both a dance company, Kambata Dance Company, my dance company, and the Seattle International Dance Festival, which we have run for, this will be the 15th year. And we work we invite approximately 40 or 50 companies a year. Majority of those are national and regional or local. And then we invite about 5 companies or 5 to 10 companies internationally each year, with the exception, of course, of this year, which our festival just happened in June, but it was virtual. So yes, that's what we do.
Thank you. 혹시 다른 분들 지금 자막 보이세요? 제가 지금 자막 국문으로 치고 있거든요. 자막 다 보이시나요?
네.
아, 다 보이세요?
네.
네네네. 그러면 시연 씨는 자막이 안 보이세요? 네, 우선은 그러면 제가 나중에 주요한 부분들은 지금 소개하고 계시니까 제가 이미 다 전달된 내용이고 나중에 이제 1대1로 메시지를 전달할 땐 제가 통역을 해드릴게요. 네. 카티야 안 했어. 네. Hello, Katia. Would you continue? Thank you.
Hello, it's 6:30 in the morning, so I'm sorry for my presentation of Slovenian dance theater. I'm coming from Slovenia, Ljubljana, from the capital. We are a theater production house. We are producing, co-producing, we are hosting, we have a festival. And I was part of the BIDAM for last 2 years. So some of you know me, we met in Busan last year or the previous year. So I think we are actually specialized for contemporary dance, and we were the first venue for contemporary dance. Thank you.
네. 네, 감사합니다. 얀 주렉 씨, 그리고 로라 쿠민, 압샬롬 폴락, 사이러스 캄바라, 카티아 솜락 이렇게 참가해 주셨고요. 해외 델리게이터로서. 그리고 이번 부산국제 춤마켓의 호스트이신 신은주 예술감독님 소개드리겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 신은주 예술감독입니다. 부산국제 춤마켓 온라인으로 진행하면서 여러분께 인사드립니다. 이번 청춤 챌린지에 참가해 주신 여러분들께 감사드리며 5명의 해외 예술가 분들과 그리고 저와 함께 여러분의 챌린지를 심사하고 시작하겠습니다.
That was the introduction 주신. 네. Okay, so we will directly start from Jin Sung Chang with the work of Side. Where is Jin Sung? I changed all their names in English and Side, but could you? Yes, I see you. And he's here. This is Jin Sung. So from the delegators, I would like you to start with the feedbacks about his work, and after the feedbacks, he will have a short comments about it. 먼저 우선은 인사 간단하게 좀 부탁드릴게요.
Hello, I'm a college student majoring in contemporary dance in Busan University. Thank you for watching my contemporary dance. Here is 2 p.m. and I'm good. Busan's weather is good.
네네, 좋아요. 고마워요. 네. Okay.
So maybe I can start. Yeah.
Yes, sure. Anyone can start.
Yeah. Hi. Well, thank you very much for sharing your piece, your duet with us. It was a pleasure watching it, and I wanted to ask you about your background. Did you dance before, and if this is your first creation, that you made?
아, 네. 그 혹시 이번 작품이
네.
그 전에 예, 작품을 하신 경험이 있으신지 뭐 이런 부분 조금 간단하게 대답해 주세요.
I have experience that is all in my college only in my college.
He's working.
그래서
He's still making his work at his college. He's a university student right now.
So this is I mean, your experience in creating pieces was just a part of the university work for you. So it's your first piece you made?
제작한 거는 작품 제작 처음이신가요?
그러니까 이거 저는 한국말로 해도 되죠?
네, 상관없습니다.
너무 어려워가지고.
네, 괜찮아요.
영어로 해야 되는 줄 알아가지고.
꼭 그렇지 않아요.
아직 대학교 학생이라서 학교 내에서 수업이나 과제로 그 만든 작품 말고는 이제 외부에서 만든 작품은 이게 처음이에요.
Most of his works were made in the university as like the duty for the school, but this was his first piece out of school.
Okay, I understand. I will say something about my impression, which I think it will kind of connect to the other pieces that I saw, which is, of course, it's very subjective opinion for each and every one that watches a piece, how someone connects to some, performance or art. So it's like, of course, it can be different from one to one, and this is okay. For me, it's very important to recognize from what I see an identity of the person or the group that is doing what you do. And this thing about making an identity, I think it's a process that kind of takes time. So sometimes when I can identify like something which is very, very, very fresh, that still is searching and looking for many, many different sources and doesn't really find his own inside the piece. I could kind of see inside the duet that you made, investigating different kind of areas in a way. And I saw a lot of talent, and there was also the interesting work with your partner, but it was difficult for me to kind of realize what is the special kind of ingredient that you bring, your kind of special spice inside the piece.
I see. 그러니까 지금 우선은 코멘트를 해주셨는데 질문이 아니니까 그 아티스트분들은 대답은 하지 마시고 코멘트로서 들어주시면 되세요. 우선은 작품, 그러니까 무용수 자체의 탤런트 좋고 그리고 함께한 그런 듀엣과의 그런 콜라보도 좋았는데 어떤 아이덴티티적인 것, 장진성님만의 것을 발견하기가 조금 어려웠다고 하십니다. Thank you, Absalom. Cyrus?
I just wanted to ask a question. So do we have 10 minutes or 20 minutes for each of the artists?
Oh, it's 10 minutes.
Okay, so I just want to be succinct as I can. So it's nice to see your work. Thank you for sharing that with us. I always enjoy seeing young creators creating work. It's a pleasure. So I start out with just some adjectives that came to me when I was watching the piece. So the adjectives that came as I was watching are warm, caring, intimate, supportive, reflective, casual, futile, yearning, desire, hopeful, and fraternal. So those are the words. And I felt it was nice to see dancers giving their emotional all, just really pouring themselves into the movement. I really appreciated that. And I appreciated seeing an emotional premise of a piece between two male identified dancers, which was nice. However, because the movement had a lot of this sort of frenetic flinging movement and so a lot of catchback steps as a result, it feels like the emotionality the dancer's having, but it's muted for the audience in a little way. So I would say clarify all the steps that you make. Sometimes extra little steps weaken the impact. So instead of strengthening it. So spatial positions on the stage could be clarified where you're moving on the stage. If this is your stage, you move here, then you move here, then you move here. So it's really clear. And you could also clarify that using some lighting. Since the work is an emotional work, think about the best way to amplify the emotion in the work for the audience as well as for the performer. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. 우선은 다양한 단어들을 말씀해 주셨어요. 그래서 뭐 따뜻하고 지원하고 뭔가 반영되고 캐주얼하고 희망적인 그런 단어들이 생각났고, 그리고 이제 움직임에서 느껴지는 어떤 감정적인 부분들을 아주 즐겁게 봤습니다. 그런데 이제 움직임 자체가 조금 더 분명하게 보여졌으면 좋겠다는 말씀을 해주셨어요. 제가 조금 간략하게 말씀을 드리고 나중에 정리해서 이분이 말씀하신 걸 다 정리해서 다 텍스트로 드릴 거예요. 그래서 움직임을 조금 더 간소화하고 스텝 등도 간소화하고 뭔가 장소에서 장소로 움직일 때 그런 동작들을 조금 더 단순하고 분명하게 드러내면 좋을 것 같다고 하십니다. Thank you, Cyrus.
Thank you.
Katia, do you have some ideas?
Yeah, I would say I appreciate the work, and I think it's like really a good start. From what I saw, for me, what I really appreciated it was the physicality. But I was like really missing. Like I do agree with Avshalom that actually we saw a lot of searching of the movement and choreography. I like the architecture of the movement, but we couldn't, as the audience, we couldn't get what actually they wanted to say. So that was a bit. I think they need to go in this direction. So this is some advice I would say. Thank you.
네. 자막으로 우선 대부분 다 쳐드렸는데 이제 좋게 보신 부분이 우선 작품 굉장히 감사하게 잘 봤다고 하시고 그 좋게 본 부분은 어떤 신체적인 움직임 자체는 굉장히 좋았는데 압샬롬 씨의 의견과 비슷하게 움직임 자체는 좋지만 그것이 무엇을 말하려고 하는지가 조금 불분명했다고 합니다. Thank you, Katia, and I will move on to Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your work. I do share a lot of the comments that my colleagues just made. For me, one of the things that I see happen often in young work, where people are quite close to their quite close to their training. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is when you're doing something within an academic context, you have certain tasks to use certain kind of materials, certain kinds of tools, and then as you mature and you find more of your own voice, you can choose which tools you want. Sometimes I think that young work feels that they have to use all the tools, and I felt that a little bit in your piece. I very much appreciated the physicality of it, your beautiful movers. But I felt that you had so many elements that you wanted to use at the same time that it obscured the dramaturgy, the arc of what you wanted to communicate. And the use of music as an emotional motor to drive the piece, using so much music and depending on it so much, gives the piece perhaps a fragmented character that doesn't let you explore fully where you want the dramaturgy to go. I did follow I could follow very closely the development of this relationship, but I was wishing to be able to get closer to you with fewer elements, less music, sometimes even less movement, because all the movement was beautiful, but there was a lot. And I think this is also part of a process of gaining confidence and self-assurance as a maker. And I think this is almost, a normal stage in the development of a choreographic author.
우선은 되게 이제 안무가로서 성장하는 방식에서 자신감을 가지고 그리고 어떤 좀 더 분명함을 가지는 것에 대해서 좀 말씀을 해주셨는데 우선 다들 공통적으로 해주시는 말씀은 움직임 자체는 너무너무 아름답고 좋았는데 그 로라 씨 같은 경우에는 이제 작품 안에서 그 진성님이 사용하는 요소가 너무 많아서 드라마투르기적으로 그것이 구성이 잘 드러나지 못했다라고 하셨습니다. 음악과 움직임을 오히려 줄이고 그 드라마투르기를 살릴 수 있다면 훨씬 더 좋은 작품이 될 것이라고 생각한다고 말씀해 주셨습니다. Jan, yes, thank you.
I would like to thank you for this performance. I really enjoyed, and I totally agree with almost everything that my colleagues said. I would like to add one thing. I think this duet there's great potential, and there's a lot of things that should be developed. And as Laura said, that maybe less music. I think you really should focus on the sound design and think about how to use the music. There really should be so much music, and if there's possible to make some gap. And regarding this work with music, maybe there's also opportunity to think about the connections between each part, how to make a connection between each part, and how to connect this in the formal way as well. So yeah, that's the last thing that I would like to add.
Okay, thank you. 대부분 아주 즐겁게 보았습니다. 지금까지 말씀해주신 다른 동료들의 의견에 대부분 다 동의하고 듀엣에서 아주 좋은 가능성을 보았습니다. 많은 부분들이 움직임적으로 이미 발전이 되어 있고요. 그런데 음악에 대한 얘기를 해주셨는데 음악을 줄이면 좋을 것 같고 그리고 사운드 디자인 쪽을 좀 보완하시면 훨씬 더 좋은 작품이 될 것이라고 코멘트 해주셨습니다. 네, 이렇게 다 들어봤어요. 코멘트를 진성님께서 마지막으로 모든 분들께 한국말로 편안하게 그냥 얘기해 주시고 다음 분으로 넘어가도록 하겠습니다.
코멘트 해주셔서 너무 감사드리고 제가 이렇게 다들 비슷한 지적이나 조언들을 해주셔가지고 앞으로 더 발전할 수 있는 그런 그 시간이 됐던 것 같습니다.
네. Thank you for all of your comments because it's that he will listen and then he will remember all the comments that you've gave him and then try to develop his work in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on to the work of Lost and Found. Their work title was Flower Arrangement, and choreographers are two artists, Sohee Kim and Seongjun Ho. 네, 인사 간단하게 부탁드릴게요. 마이크 음소거 해제해 주시고요.
안녕하세요. 네, 부산에서 활동하는 전 허성준이고
김소희입니다.
네.
네네 계속
그 청춤 챌린지는 두 번째를 참가하게 됐고, 네, 다시 한 번 더 하게 돼서 되게 재밌었던 것 같습니다. 감사합니다.
Hello, we are choreographer based in Busan, Seongjun Ho and Sohee Kim. This is our second time in BIDAM challenge, and it was thank you.
Okay,
yes,
can I go ahead?
Sure. Anyone wants to start?
I'll start since nobody did. It's nice to meet you. Thank you very much for your lovely piece. I really enjoyed the piece a lot. I'm going to start with some adjectives, which I like to do. It's sort of, the reason I do this is it puts me in the head frame of the piece, so I make comments from that head frame. So the adjectives are wartime, weighty, suspension, brooding, hermetic, airless, hidden, desperate, loving, fragile, interpersonal, communicative, expressive, hopeful, inseparable, united, and connected. I had a lot of adjectives. So like I said, I really enjoyed this piece a lot. In a way, it almost snuck up on me. The combination of the beauty and pathos, I think, is a very powerful theatrical tool. I thought the pacing and the timing of the piece were really quite worked well with the beautiful movement and the partnering. I really appreciated the partnering in it as well. So one of the things I really enjoy is when two performers can create intimacy without being subsumed into each other. So like becoming too much about each other. That is particularly hard when you have partnering, but maintaining the autonomy can be really challenging, and you did a really nice job of that. I never really felt like I could see your faces, and for me, it made the emotion even stronger in the work. Oddly, I usually like to see performers' faces, but for some reason I loved the use of shying away from looking at the audience, which I thought was an interesting choice. I'm dying to ask this question if you two are in a relationship, but I won't, you don't have to answer it because I'm really curious, but because you did really seem very, very connected and very inseparable. And I thought that was something kind of precious. I enjoyed how one dancer would anchor the space for the other dancer to move around them, and then they switched. And so that was a nice device for expressing that autonomy of characters. And I would have liked the music at that one point to cut off a little more clearly. There was a wind sound or some kind of sound that came after. I couldn't quite hear the wind sound that came in right after the cutoff. It kind of curved off, and it seemed a little bit like a mistake from the sound point of view. But otherwise, I thought it was a really strong work.
우선은 다 긍정적인 말씀을 해주셨는데 형용사들을 쭉 말씀해 주셨어요. 제가 나중에 이거 다 정리해서 드릴게요. 그리고 굉장히 잘 봤고 아름다움, 그러니까 동작과 움직임 자체와 그 어떤 페이스를 사용하는 것이 굉장히 잘 조화되어 있어서 좋았다고 합니다. 그리고 두 분의 파트너링이 되게 좋았는데 특히 한 분이 뭔가 앵커처럼 한 곳에 있고 다른 한 명이 또 그 앵커를 돌듯이 이렇게 움직이는 그런 동작 부분이 굉장히 좋았다고 해요. 그리고 한 가지 이제 막 조금 걸렸던 부분은 뭔가 사운드가 컷 오프가 된 다음에 바람 소리 같은 게 들리는데 그 부분이 잘 안 들리는 게 있어가지고 그 부분이 약간 실수인가? 이런 생각을 하셨다고 합니다.
네.
네. 어떤 부분인지 아시겠어요?
잘 모르겠네요, 어딘지.
네, 한번 다시 사운드
네네.
부분 조금 연결을 조금 이렇게 좀 더 보면은 좋겠다는 말씀이신 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다.
네,
네.
감사합니다. 카티야?
Oh yeah, you surprised me.
Sorry, but you were just next to Cyrus, so I'm calling your name.
Okay, good. I will not add any of the adjectives. I think we had enough. It's nice to have this diversity of the results. So for me, if I remember right, they were there last year. They were part of, yeah. So I remember the movement, the great the movement and the presence of them from what I saw live last year. And because the videos are like really not so good, so it's really hard to catch actually what the performance is supposed to be. But I really appreciated the choreography they did. Actually, they really improved from, I think they really went into the right direction. Like we saw the beats from the really last year. actually. And what's the only thing, I think the things they are doing together as a duet, when they are making moves and the choreography, I really appreciate it. It's really strong. But in the whole piece, the only thing what I was really missing is a bit of dramaturgy. So that's my comment.
Okay. 네, 그 다른 부분들 다 좋았고 작년에도 이제 참가해서 서로를 보셨는데 작년에 비해서 영상으로 봤을 때 조금 이게 아무래도 직접적으로 전달이 되진 않지만 그래도 안무적으로 굉장히 발전하고 좋은 방향으로 가고 있다고 생각한다고 합니다. 다만 마음에 걸리는 부분은 듀엣이 이렇게 아름다운 듀엣인데 드라마투르기적으로 조금 부족하지 않았나 생각합니다. 드라마투르기적으로.
Hello, I would like to thank,
Yes, Jan.
yeah, I would like to thank for your performance. I would like to add only one thing that I see very interesting in your piece. It's the light design. I think your light design is very smart, and your light design is maybe the visual dramaturgy, which is missing there for Katya. I think that the way how you move from the darkness to the colors is the visual part of the dramaturgy, and I really enjoyed. So for me, this is very strong part of your performance.
네, 그 드라마투르기에 대한 내용을 코멘트를 해주셨어요. 그 조명을 사용하신 부분, 어떤 어두운 부분에서 빛으로 가는 그런 방식이 움직임이 아니라 조명으로 드라마투르기를 보여준 것 같아서 굉장히 잘 봤다고 하십니다.
I can continue on the what Jan was saying. I mean, I felt it's like, I mean, for all of you, the challenge was like dealing with a space that everybody has, this kind of a space, no matter what the piece was, and a light that was kind of the basic setup for everybody, more or less. I mean, some of the groups were using it a little bit differently, but it was, in a way, it was the same kind of setup of light, and you had to use this light for the pieces. And sometimes it creates issues and problems. There is multiple issues or details when you create a dance piece, starting with the movement, music, the drama, light, space. There's a lot of elements, and eventually you need to combine them together to a whole kind of something that makes sense. And it's hard to kind of keep everything together and to balance everything together properly. And it takes time to understand that in a way. Another thing that I wanted to say is the use of prop. That you ended the piece with this water sprinkler, which was something that came out. And I think it's something you can look into, using the prop as another kind of, as I was saying about the light and the space. A prop is also like an important object that in a way it kind of showed up from nowhere, and it was very significant how this can be interacted with everything that you did a little bit more.
네, 우선은 중요한 피드백을 주신 부분이 이제 분무기인데, 이제 소품을 사용할 때 이제 조명과 공간과 같이 그것이 어떻게 그 나머지 여러분들이 제작하신 나머지 뭐 조명 공간 그리고 뭐 움직임과 어떻게 좀 더 잘 설명적으로 조합이 됐으면 더 좋았겠다라는 의견 주셨습니다. Thank you. Laura?
Yes, thank you. I want to thank you for your performance. I really enjoyed getting to know you, even through the video. I want to echo something that my colleagues have said about dramaturgy, and that is I felt that I needed more time to breathe with each section. I felt that there was a desire to put a great deal of content into a quite short piece, and so I I would love to see how these transitions develop and how to give yourself more space to develop this very cinematographic piece. I think sometimes we are so anxious to make sure that everybody connects with what we are saying that we put lots and lots of material in there. And I thought that there was a great deal of material and many delicate things that could be developed more fully and would give us time to accompany you and to make that dramaturgical journey with you in a more fluid way, which would help give more logic to the piece.
네, 그 드라마투르기에 대한 얘기를 해주셨어요. 우선은 어떤 파트와 파트 사이에 조금 여백이 있어서 그 어떤 섬세한 그 부분들이 굉장히 섬세한 부분들이 있었는데 그 섬세한 부분들을 조금 더 발전을 시켜서 관객이 그 섬세한 여백 속에서 그런 섬세함과 함께 그 이야기를 좀 더 끌어가는 그런 부분들이 보완이 되면 훨씬 더 좋을 것 같다고 하였습니다. 네, 모든 코멘트를 들었습니다. 그래서 김소희 그리고 허성준 안무가님이 한마디 마지막 해주시고 넘어가겠습니다.
네, 그 델리게이터 분들의 되게 그 얘기를 되게 좋게 생각하고요. 네, 되게 좋은 얘기들을 해주셨다 생각하고 저는 이제 이 작품을 하면서 그 영상을 찍고 나서 그 다음 날 영상을 보고 저는 개인적으로 되게 그리고 소희 씨도 저도 되게 좋다고 생각을 했어요. 그래서 아마 그 영상을 제가 제일 많이 봤던 것 같아요. 한 30번 정도 본 것 같아요.
여기까지 우선은 통역 한번 하고 갈게요. Thank you for all the comments. Actually, after I received the video the day next that I performed, I quite liked and I liked the video and then satisfied with it. So I think I watched it the most of the views. Actually, I think I watched it like over 30 times. 네, 계속 해주세요.
네, 아무튼 네, 되게 그렇게 저희는 되게 약간 만족을 하고 있고 아무튼 조언을 들어서 이제 다음에 하게 된다면은 조금 더 발전을 시켜서 하면은 더 좋아질 거라고 생각합니다. 네, 감사합니다.
So I'm just happy that I was satisfied with it, and actually she was very satisfied too. And but still I will try to make it the better performance with this and next time with all of your comments. Thank you. 네, 감사합니다. 그리고 그 다음 순서로 서건영님, 네, 간단하게 소개 부탁드릴게요.
안녕하세요. 이번 청춘 챌린지에 참가하게 된 서건혁이라고 합니다.
네, hello, I'm 서건혁 with the piece participated title Corner. Up to you, whoever starts. Laura, would you start first?
Certainly I will. I certainly will. I don't know if this is your first work or not.
혹시 그러니까 처음 작품 하신 건지 궁금하다 하시네요.
네, 처음 작품 올렸습니다.
이게 근데 초연 말고 작품 자체 제작이 처음이신가요?
아니요.
It's not his first work, but it was a premiere for this work.
Okay, well, congratulations on your premiere, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I could see very clearly the creation of a character, and the creation and an emotional journey that was happening there. I had questions, and I often have questions about the choice of music. In terms of, I sometimes feel that music gets chosen because of an emotional resonance that it gives, but there's extra content like lyrics that sometimes, if you are looking for a certain flavor or musical color, sometimes you forget about the rest of the content that the audience will get. I had some questions again about the use of the prop, because it was a central, your backpack was central to the entrance, you know, to how you approached us as the audience, where you were. And then at one point you just dropped it. And it lost the importance that then we saw that it had at the very end. So I had some questions about what we do with those choices. It was the only real, well, the element there plus the contents. And I felt that at one point, this very central object that had some emotional meaning and gave shape to the character suddenly lost the, it just disappeared and then came back again in a very important way. So I think that just thinking a little bit more about how you are going to use the elements that you use will make this portrait of an emotional process more powerful. But thank you very much for your performance.
네, 우선은 작품에 대해서 굉장히 감사합니다. 처음에 이제 말씀해주신 부분은 캐릭터였어요. 굉장히 어떤 강렬하고 분명한 캐릭터로 등장을 했는데, 이제 가방을 들고 와서 가방을 놓거나 아니면 어떤 그 진행을 하면서 어떤 선택을 내릴 때 그 어떤 그 작품 속에 있는 어떤 요소를 내가 선택하는 이유에 대해서 조금 더 그 분명하게 좀 어떤 그런 부분을 요소들을 사용하는 방식에 대해서 조금 더 고민을 하면 좋을 것 같다는 의견이었습니다.
Thank you for your performance. It's really tough to have this loneliness of a solo on stage, especially when you create your first pieces. So there's a lot of courage in doing that. So congratulations for that. I want to continue with what Laura was saying about the prop. There was another kind of a very significant prop, which was the lollipop inside your mouth, that you had this. And it was very kind of strong element that was there, but still it was just there and did almost nothing in a way. It was just like a behavior of some sort that kind of had the first strings of something to happen, like the backpack. It's important to understand that when you use something, it has something important inside the piece and how you're gonna use it and make it a part of the piece and not just, okay, it's just like an element inside. It's a part of the world that you're creating, especially when it's so isolated and there's only you. Lollipop, backpack, and this music, which again, it's like, it's a very familiar music and there's lyrics and you can, in a way, you need to think what does it makes when you use this kind of music with these lyrics inside the piece, because everything kind of works together or doesn't work together. So this is something you have to keep in mind when you're creating. But again, congratulations, very strong performance, and you're very talented.
네, 감사합니다. 비슷한 얘기를 해주셨는데, 이제 소품을 사용할 때 그것을 사용할 때 어떤 깊은 고민이 필요하다고 얘기를 하셨어요. 어떤 요소로서의 소품이 아니라 정말 그 작품 세계 안에서 어떤 역할을 하는 것으로서의 소품과 그리고 음악, 그리고 가사에 대해서 말씀해 주셨습니다. 어쨌든 초연이었는데 특히 솔로인 경우에는 초연을 할 때 굉장히 외로울 수 있는데 그럼에도 불구하고 좋은 공연을 보여주셔서 그리고 탤런트 있는 무용수로서 무대에 서주셔서 감사합니다 라는 의견 주셨습니다. Cyrus?
Yes. Yes, thank you for your performance. I always enjoy humor work. It's always interesting to see that. I have a couple of adjectives that I just like to read, just to share. Playful, funny, silly, curious, kid-like, unpretentious, genuine, simple, logical, and clean. So I really actually enjoyed the combination of the movement with the character. I think Jan's comments about the lollipop are true. However, I really liked the unpretentious nonchalance. So just, you can look up nonchalance word. It somehow really gave the piece even more humor, that it seemed randomly chosen almost. I really agree with the comment about the backpack though. The contrast of the simple character with the logical movement was very satisfying, and I felt like I was listening to the choreographer try to speak to me about their movement aesthetics through that. So it was interesting. I do think developing that character and what the relationship of the movement and this logical sort of simple movement pattern, which I found quite satisfying. And what's the relationship with that to the character? So I felt like I was inside the head of a baby, dreaming of all the things it could one day do as soon as it figured out how to walk. It would put me in a really interesting place. And I thought it was, I liked the levity of that in a way. It was nice to have that as a piece, the levity. I think it's hard to do humor in dance works in particular and really pull them off. So I enjoyed that.
네, 감사합니다. 우선은 굉장히 휴머러스한 부분들을 볼 수 있어서 좋았다고 하시고요. 진정한 심플, 그리고 뭐 단순한 재밌는 이런 형용사들을 주셨어요. 그리고 움직임과 캐릭터의 콤비네이션이 좋았고, 사탕에 대한 압샬롬 씨의 의견, 어떤 요소로서 뿐만이 아니라 어떤 존재로서 존재하는 그런 부분에 대해서 동의하기도 하지만 그런 어떤 의도되지 않은 부분들이 오히려 더 좋았다고 생각하고, 그럼에도 불구하고 백팩을 사용한 부분에 대한 로라의 의견, 다른 분들의 의견과 동일하게 이 부분은 조금 더 이제 뭔가 이야기적으로 조금 더 보완이 돼야 한다고 생각합니다. 어린이의 뇌 안에 있는 것처럼 뭔가 의도되지 않은 행동들이 자꾸 보여지는 것, 그 안에서 휴머를 발견할 수 있어서 좋았습니다. 감사합니다. 네.
So I really agree with Laura and Avshalom. I disagree with Cyrus, but yes, this is our opinions, which is good. And I really appreciate your presentations, but I think it's a really good starting point for the development. And yes, I sensed nice humor, but for me, it didn't develop enough to get it right. So for me, it's like a really nice starting point. So you just continue working like this. Thank you.
우선은 공연에 대해서 감사하고 발전을 위한 좋은 시작이라고 생각합니다. 휴머를 발견한 것은 굉장히 좋았지만 그 더 이상을 만들어내는 것은 지금부터 시작하시면 좋을 거라고 하시네요. 네, 감사합니다. 얀.
I would like to thank you. I think Laura said in the beginning everything in a very nice way, everything that I would like to say, and for me there is also the question how to use the prop. I think you use the prop in a lot of different ways, and for example, you use it as a mask. And later you use it as a regular thing, and I think this definition of your relation to the prop is also part of the process, and it needs to be clarified. And thank you. I think this solo has a great potential, which should be developed.
많은 가능성을 보았어요. 근데 이제 코멘트 자체는 로라 씨와 아주 비슷한 생각입니다. 그런 어떤 소품을 사용하는 것에 있어서 그런 부분들을 조금 더 고민해야 될 것 같고, 내가 소품을 어떻게 사용하고, 그리고 그 소품과의 관계를 어떻게 맺음하는가에 대한 부분을 좀 고민하면 좋을 것 같습니다. 감사합니다. 건혁 씨 코멘트 다 들었어요. 마지막으로 한마디 하시고 넘어가겠습니다.
코멘트 해주신 만큼 이제 좀 그만큼 보완을 해서 다음에는 조금 더 성숙하고 발전된 모습으로 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. So he will embrace all the comments, and then next time he wishes to see you with more developed work. 그리고 now we will move on to Harry Lee with the team name 옹기종기 and the title of Mill. 혜리님, 네, 잘 보입니다. 안녕하세요. 네, 첫
안녕하세요.
인사 부탁드릴게요.
헬로. 저희는 부산에서 활동하고 있는 이혜리, 조은정,
정나원입니다.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. Nice to meet you.
네, 좋아요. It was 옹기종기 and 3 women trio based in Busan. And they're very happy to meet you.
I will start, okay?
Sure.
First of all, I really liked your show, your performance. I thought and felt there's something which not an easy task to do when 3 minds creating one piece together, and it felt like something that I could feel a collaboration there with the creation. I mean, there's always like, okay, who's the creator there? And in a way, I could really get that it was something you work up together. And this is something not easy to make when you create together. So congratulations for that. Another thing that I really like that you managed to create a very typical world on something which is very basic in a way, or natural. So on a very kind of simple gesture or behavior, there was this kind of world that kind of came out, this fantasy or dream or experience that kind of came out, and it made me very interesting to kind of look inside. And I think it's important when there is this connection between a creation and an audience. I do feel that there's more, of course, more work to do on the piece. The editing of it and proper use of the soundtrack, which I think it was a good direction of using the soundtrack, and I think there's even more way to do, and defining more the physicalities, and to kind of search more inside the physicalities and define them into more and more detailed world. So it's always endless, but I think it's a very good starting point, or even more than a starting point. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 우선 좋은 말씀 많이 해주셨고, 그리고 이제 3 분이서 다 같이 콤비네이션이 잘 맞았다고 생각하신데요. 음악과 그리고 움직임에 대해서만 조금 더 고민을 하면 좋겠다고 하시고, 그럼에도 불구하고 아주 좋은 시작이었다고 생각합니다. 제가 자막 치는 거 보이시죠? 보이세요? 네, 네.
네, 보입니다.
네, 이동하겠습니다. Okay, thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you. I agree with many of the things that Avshalom just said. I found that looking at the movement solutions that you came to, I felt that you were very decisive about where you wanted to go in terms of movement. I immediately was drawn in as a spectator to that first image on the stage of, you know, the table and the meal and the radio, and we know where we are situated. And then these 2 incredible characters. I mean, I watched all these videos twice, just, you know, to go into the world. And so I had I had all sorts of, I invented all sorts of narratives of what is the relationship between these 2 amazing characters who are quite otherworldly. You know, you have the one image which is very mundane or very, day-to-day life, and then these two creatures that come in and sort of invade, take over, subsume, and I had lots of questions about where that went afterwards. So I found many interesting elements there, and my question also was, what was really happening when the three of you met? I had lots of curiosity about where will this go, and when she leaves, because she comes in one side to set the table, but when she takes everything off the table, she looks to the other side and goes off there. And I thought, okay, this is opening to a new something here. So there's something happening here. I don't know. I feel like I'm just on the edge of some kind of a resolution, and I don't even have to have the concrete resolution, but I felt that there could be some information that happened in the relationship between the three of you that would take me with you when you left. You beautiful movers, and I really appreciated the performance. And those were sort of my observations there.
네, 좋은 말씀을 많이 해주셨어요. 우선은 이제 어떤 캐릭터, 지금 두 명의 캐릭터와 한 명의 캐릭터 사이에 어떤 다른 세계가 있는 듯함과 그들이 만났을 때 어떤 결론으로 가는 부분, 그리고 그 관계가 이제 발전되어 가는 부분에 대해서 굉장히 흥미롭게 잘 봤고, 너무너무 많은 생각을 하게 하고 어떤 일이 일어나고 있는 건가에 대한 질문을 계속 주는 작품이라 좋았던 것 같습니다.
Thank you.
Guess I'll go.
Yes, sure.
So, yes, thank you so much for this piece. It was I really enjoyed watching this piece a lot. I have a couple adjectives which I like to start with. So here they are: powerful, ominous, theatrical, surrealist. So I felt that there was very strong movement, and the dancers were very strong both. There was at the end some really nice phrasing and alternation between unison and canon, or unison and oppositional movement, which I really enjoyed watching that. Just the phrasing basically. I liked also that I got, like Laura, I got very interested in this story, at the beginning, and it was set up so articulately in a way, and so definitively, like she was really in her little world. And I thought that was the fact that later on, when her hair was in her face and she was eating in the back, it really created this inside-outside sort of world, which I liked. That parallel action, when it's done that well, is really a nice device theatrically, I feel like. I like the moment where the dancers joined the diner, specifically the moment where this movement, this sort of like repetitive movement was done across the floor in front of her. But I felt like I wanted to see more of that particular moment, because it's so important when the dancers overtake the diner. And I was really enjoying the movement that they did just before that section, that when they intersect with the diner sitting at the table, I'd like to see more. I'd like to see that developed more. I was very, very interested in that moment. So yeah, and then like I said, towards the end, I really enjoyed the phrasing and some of the unison, and I thought it was some nice movement work there. And I kind of just liked the ending. I liked that this sort of like, it seemed very appropriate for the work, this kind of like drop off cut ending almost. It's like, swept, I'm done, I'm out of here. So I like that. Thank you.
네, 좋은 말씀 많이 해주셨고, 구성적으로 굉장히 좋았고, 그리고 좀 중요한 코멘트는 이제 두 분의 캐릭터가 이제 한 분의 저녁 먹는 캐릭터를 이렇게 다가가서 그걸 방해하고 또 함께하는 장면이 있잖아요. 그 부분에서 뭔가 두 명의 무용수가 이제 반복적인 어떤 움직임을 그 테이블에서 하는데, 그 부분을 조금 더 보고 그 부분에서 어떤 일이 벌어지는 건지를 조금 더 풀어서 좀 더 보고 싶으셨다고 합니다. 네.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Katia, would you go?
Yes, I again agree with Laura and Absalom. I think definitely it's challenging to make a work when we have three different people actually collaborating together, and we saw a really nice quality. And I would say it's a really nice starting point. Actually, it's more developed. And I think perhaps I would just suggest that when you are all collaborators and you are all creators, perhaps sometimes some outside eye would be useful, just to have some kind of other side, how it looks like, because you're all on the stage, you have great movement, and from all the things what we saw, we actually grasped the things, but all in all I think it needs a bit more of development. Thank you.
네. 우선 로라 씨와 그리고 압샬롬 씨와 동의하고 조금 중요하게 이제 발전을 했으면 좋겠다는 부분은 우선은 지금 이제 자기 본 작품을 본인이 본 이번 작품은 조금 이렇게 스쳐가는 듯한 그런 느낌이었다고 해요. 그래서 조금 더 발전적인 부분을 다음번에 다시 또 볼 수 있으면 좋겠다고 합니다.
Thank you.
Jan, yes.
Yeah, thank you for the meal. It tasted really very good. It was very good meal, and I think the performance as such is very playful, and I would like to know the broader context which is behind it. So if you will be developing the piece, I'm looking for, as a spectator, for the broader or for things that are behind, and I'm looking for uncovering these next levels that are there. So that is, I think this is the way how to go on, and this first dish is really good. So thank you very much.
네, 우선은 어떤 좋은 한 끼였다고 생각하고 어떤 부분에서 조금 이렇게 숨겨져 있는 텍스트 같은 것들이 있었는데 그런 부분들이 좀 더 앞으로 드러나면 좋겠다고 하셔요. 그래갖고 우선 지금 하신 말씀들이 되게 많은데 그런 부분들은 제가 다 구경문으로 정리를 해서 한 번 더 분명하게 전달을 해드리도록 할게요. 마지막으로 이혜리님, 옹기종기팀 마지막 멘트 해주시고 넘어가겠습니다.
네, 모든 델리게이터 분들에게 감사하고, 그 한마디 한마디 전부 저희가 뜻깊게 받아들이고, 좋게 받아들이고, 또 이 작품을 더 발전해 나가고 싶습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
I'll receive all the comments one by one, and thank you very much for it. And then I would like to see you again with this piece developed. Thank you. 네. 그리고 이제 이시연님의 C 작품으로 넘어가겠습니다. So this is choreographer Shihyun Lee with her piece titled Seed. 네, 인사해 주세요.
안녕하세요. 작품 C 안무한 이시연입니다. Nice to meet you.
Should I start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Katya.
Okay.
시연 씨 죄송해요. 지금 자막 안 보이죠, 계속?
아니요, 보여요.
아, 네. Okay, let's go.
Okay. For our festival in June, we had the topic called New Reality. So this piece, what I saw from your side was the perfect piece which I would take, either the video or but actually more live, because it's really what I I was really grasping the things from the COVID situation, and I really appreciated how you dealt with it. And it was really descriptive. I really admire the physicality, the movement, the choreography, and I really appreciate the work. And I think it's quite in this time, I need to say, and I really I'm eager to see what kind of work you will also be developing in next years. Thank you.
지금 현 상황과 너무나도 잘 어울리는 작품이었고, 그리고 그 안에서 아주 좋은 어떤 점들을 보았습니다. 그래서 그 이후에 이제 이 작품 이후에 어떤 작품을 하실 건지도 너무 기대가 되고 궁금하다고 하시네요.
I will join Katya. Sorry, continue. Sorry for doing that. I really liked the piece. It was really strong ambience, and was something I would add, not only relevant for this period of time, which was very true. It's very true about this kind of connection to where we are with the COVID, but in a general kind of a more broader aspects about many other things, which is it's really good to have. And you managed to create something which was surprising and inventive, a good use of sound and the breathing, of course, which was a main kind of ingredient in what you did. So really well done, and congratulations for this piece. Thank you.
Thank you. 네, 우선은 다 비슷한 그 전분과 비슷한 의견이었어요. 다 자막으로 쳐드렸습니다. 네, Laura.
Yes, I share what my colleagues just said. I also want to say that I was impressed by your commitment to an idea and to carry it forward without extraneous elements. I felt that you focused very clearly on the elements that you wanted to use, and you took the time to develop them. So I was able to accompany you on that journey in a way that without leaving you. And I felt that it was, in that sense, it was very strong. I admired the fact that you were consistent with what you wanted to do, and you were able to go into depth, research into depth the material and the point of departure, and had faith to let that develop, and not feel that you needed more external elements. And also the relationship with the music, which came in when it had to come in, which was used towards the end of the piece in a more rhythmic and more dancey kind of way, but then resolved as well. So I was very glad to see it. Congratulations.
좋은 말씀들 많이 해주셨습니다. 어떤 주제를 딱 정하고 그것을 깊게 리서치를 해서 다른 요소에 방해 없이 쭉 끌고 간 점을 굉장히 좋게 잘 보았고, 음악 사용에 있어서도 음악을 사용해서 조금 더 리드미컬한 움직임으로 가다가 그것을 마무리하는 것까지 굉장히 잘 진행된 작품이었다고 생각합니다.
I would like to add that I feel a really deep research in your piece, and the way how you move from the breath to the movements and to the choreography is very clear, and yeah, I really enjoyed, and I would like to thank you very much for this very beautiful performance.
좋은 말씀, 또 비슷한 말씀 해주셨어요. 아주 깊게 리서치를 한 작품임이 느껴졌습니다.
Yeah, I guess I can go next. So yeah, I really share all of my colleagues' comments entirely. And I have a couple adjectives which I just like to throw out. They are animal, essential, held, urgent, crisis, undulatory, seething, stealthy, athletic, contrapuntal, reactive, dangerous, raw, vital, and muscular. So I really loved this idea of starting with something so essential as breath. And I think maybe it was Avshalom that said that, you know, it's even more, it's not just COVID, it's human beings right now. It's something that we need to focus on, something we need to bring ourselves back to is something essential as breath. So probably everyone in the audience has some relationship to their breath and being out of breath for one reason or another. So it conjures up all kinds of personal associations and scenarios. So I think it's a fabulously, you know, complex yet extremely simple sort of device in the beginning of the work. And I share what Laura said was I loved that you developed each idea, and I had no fear that you were developing this idea and had absolutely no fear about where you were going. Sometimes I feel a sense of uneasiness or discomfort because I feel like maybe someone will cut off the idea too soon, or that maybe they'll ignore it and just shift suddenly to something that's frivolous and irrelevant or not connected. But I felt like all of the transitions were very just in a sense. They really made sense with each other, and each one sort of developed more deeply as they went. So I thought really showed a lot of maturity as an artist in many ways, but also a kind of, I mean, pick out the word, you know, raw. There was something also at the same time very raw and animal about some of the movement. I liked that there was some animalish movement, and then, you know, some of the undulating that was going on, which was really beautiful. I enjoyed watching the physicality of this piece. So the athletic virtuosity of the dancers, working with the rhythm in a kind of contrapuntal way at times. That was, I guess, another sort of more complex, mature sign of an artist. So I really encourage you to develop those aspects because I thought they were really strong in the work.
중요한 부분, 좋은 말씀 많이 해주셨고 중요한 부분들을 정리해서 얘기를 하면 우선 호흡이라는 누구에게나 너무나도 중요한 부분으로 시작을 했다는 점에서 그 순간 모두에게 다 어떤 연관성을 가지게 하여서 그 부분이 좋았고, 그리고 어떤 중간에 이 딱 가지고 있는 아이디어를 중간에 너무 쉽게 놓지 않을까, 너무 쉽게 바꾸지 않을까 이런 부분을 걱정했는데 그런 걱정 없이 이제 어떤 그 변화됨의 그 사이에도 어떤 정당성을 가지고 잘 변화가 되었다고 생각하고 날 것인 느낌이 굉장히 좋았고, 그리고 리듬과 함께하는 그 움직임이 자기는 너무 흥미로워서 그 부분에서 그 부분을 좀 더 이제 그 부분에 계속 더 집중해서 나아갔으면 좋겠다라고 하십니다. Katia, have you spoken? Yes, you started. We all mentioned, right? We all made a comments, right? I'm sorry, I'm like really speaking and typing in the same time, so it's a bit complicated, but yeah, I think we are going very well. 그 모든 분들이 다 코멘트를 해주셨고요. 그래서 이제 이시연님이 마지막으로 한마디 해주시고 넘어가도록 하겠습니다.
이렇게 좋은 기회에 많은 분들의 이런 정성이 가득한 피드백을 들을 수 있어서 너무너무 감사드립니다.
네.
다음번에
계속하세요.
다음에 더 지금 말씀해 주신 것들 너무 감사드리고 더 발전을 시켜서 더 좋은 작품으로 찾아뵐 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. With such a great opportunity, is so grateful to hear your comments with all of your hearts. She could feel that you are really genuine with your comments. So she would like to thank you, and she wishes to see you with her work more developed.
Thank you.
감사합니다. 네, 그리고 마지막으로 네, 달혜 씨 계속 튕기죠, 맞죠? 계속 여러 번 들어왔다 나갔다 했는데 정달혜 씨의 정다래님의 작품 Stay 머물다로 얘기를 나눠보겠습니다. Now we will move on to our last challenger, who is 다래 정. 잠시만요. Who is 다래 정, and with her work title Stay. 네, 다리 씨 간단하게 인사 부탁드려요.
안녕하세요. 부산에서 활동하고 있는 현대무용수 정다래입니다.
Hello, I'm a contemporary dancer based in Busan, 다래 정.
Wow, it's the I'm happy to see the subway now. Get to see the streets of Busan happening. So it was really interesting to see your journey. Are you a student at the moment, or you already finished school?
졸업하셨죠? 네, she's
네.
graduated. Just graduated.
Okay. So congratulations for the piece. It was very beautiful. I really appreciate when there's live music and original music combined to a creation, and it was nice to see that. Again, what I was saying in previous kind of pieces that I was talking about, it's very, very important to know how to connect the dots together. So whenever there is a strong element on stage, it needs to be connected to the other things, especially if there is a combination of original and live music to a recorded music, that it will make sense. So it's something I think that it's worth to kind of put more thoughts into, and to see how to use a live music or a musician that you put on stage, and you hear an original music or music that the musician is playing with the recorded music and with an action of a performer, to see how this kind of links together. And if it's linked, why it is linked. I felt that it was a little bit kind of fragmented. So it was this kind of, there was a live music and recorded music, some sort of a connection with the musician and no connection with the musician. And it kind of was something that kind of troubles me. On the other hand, I felt that there was a very strong use of the space, which this kind of, this axis of the stage, this diagonal or vertical kind of line that was very present, and a nice use of directions which you use in your piece. So thank you very much for this show. I really appreciate it. Congratulations.
우선은 두 가지 포인트를 말씀해 주셨는데, 첫 번째는 이제 음악을 사용할 때 그런 부분들을 어떻게 연결하는가 굉장히 중요하다고 하셨고, 그리고 두 번째는 그런 부분에 대해서 좀 더 고민을 해야 될 것이다 라는 말씀을 해주셨고, 하지만 반면에 공간의 사용에 있어서는 굉장히 뛰어났다, 그래서 좋은 작품이었다 라고 말씀해 주셨습니다. 감사합니다.
May I continue?
Hello, Darren.
Okay. I want to congratulate you on the performance. I agree very much with what Jan mentioned. I appreciated very much the fact that there was live music, and it's an element there that has so much potential to be used, and it adds a new energy. Adding on to what he said, in the beginning, and perhaps because of the filming, I thought that your own emotional connection with what was happening was going to drive the piece, was going to be the main motor of the piece. And that to me sometimes is fragile. But as the piece developed, I realized that you had, that there was a structural commitment there. And by the end of the piece, I had made this journey with you. I also made a journey in my head about connection between roots between the desire not to abandon something that is a very basic, that is the basis of a culture or of an upbringing, at the same time as there is a desire to explore. And so I felt that I followed that quite clearly. But I do agree with Jan that the fragmentation, I missed transitions, the development of transitions. And I would like to say something, Sophie, in general, because we are here doing this online, and I miss what is the nearness of being able to give this kind of feedback face to face. I do want to say that all of these comments are, I think that, and I think I can speak for my colleagues, are a way of saying have faith in what you are doing. You know, more than criticism, than, you know, do this, do that. Have faith and follow on these impulses, and have faith in your capacity to develop this work.
Thank you for your comments, speaking for the other delegators as well. Thank you. 그 부분을 전달을 드리면은 우선은 이제 다레 씨에 대한 작품에 대해 다레 그 안무가의 작품에 대해서는 우선은 처음에는 이제 감정만으로 이 작품을 끌고 갈 것 같다는 어떤 걱정이 있었지만 나중에는 어떤 작품 속에 느껴지는 깊은 욕망으로서 결국은 내가 함께 가고 있다는 그런 느낌을 받았고 그 부분은 좋았습니다. 조금 부족했다고 느끼는 부분은 이제 압샬롬 씨가 말씀했던 부분과 같은데 이제 음악을 사용하는 부분에 있어서 어떤 연결성이 조금 그 고리가 조금 약했다라고 하시고요. 지금 여기 계신 창에 계신 모든 분들 지금 비디오를 다 끄고 계셔서 지금 계신지 아닌지 알 수가 없네요. 근데 여기서 지금 듣고 계시죠? 듣고 계시는 분들 그 지금 로라 쿠민 그 델리게이터 분이 코멘트를 해주신 건 그 지금 여기서 델리게이터 분들이 그 얘기하는 코멘트가 여러분의 작품이 이렇다 저렇다 이렇게 평가하고 싶은 게 아니고 잘 됐다 나쁘다라고 말하고 싶은 게 아니라 여러분 개개인이 여러분이 하고 계시는 그 작품의 그 과정에 믿음을 가지고 그리고 본인의 가능성에 대한 깊은 믿음을 가지고 계속 그것을 이어나가기를 바라는 마음에서 이런 말을 하고 있다는 점을 꼭 알아주셨으면 좋겠다고 하시네요. 모두 아시겠으면 이렇게 박수. 네, 감사합니다. 네.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Anyone? Jan? Yes?
Yeah, I remember the beginning of the performance with the marionette from the residency. So nice to see you again. And I really like the way how you develop this work. And as Avshalom said, you develop it in a lot of different ways, and it's very hard. The question is how to connect these three parts together. Sorry, the children are waking up, so it's getting a bit noisy here. So I think each of three parts is able to be an own piece, and the biggest question is how to mix it or how to connect these three parts, and especially the live music on stage, how to connect it with the whole piece. So yeah, there is probably a lot of work, but you are really creative, and the elements that you use are really interesting. Thank you.
음악에 대한 그런 부분들 말씀해 주셨습니다. 음악과 장면의 연결에 대한 부족한 부분들을 조금 더 보완하면 했으면 좋겠다라고 해주셨어요. Cyrus?
Yeah, so yes, thank you for your performance. I'm going to just start with some adjectives, which I like to do. Quest-like, continuous, interwoven, struggle, inner turmoil, exploratory. So I found the movement, I found that I loved the music. Again, I'm going to everything that everyone said, all the comments from my colleagues, I totally agree. I found myself, that really slow introduction with the music was really such a nice opening to the piece. And then your light on the back of the space and you in the space. I love that. I thought it was a very strong beginning. And then coming forward and your movement, I was really captivated by your movement. And it built a nice tension. And I could have watched that actually much, much longer. I felt like, interesting that all my colleagues mentioned about developing the sections. I almost would think about just developing a first section and maybe working the elastic into it somehow or something, because I was so interested in what you were doing just in terms of the movement quality that I literally could have watched that for a lot longer. So I like the idea of the elastic and the sort of clear diagonal line in the space, but I didn't find the same compelling movement qualities that I did in that the very short first section. And I was yearning to see more of them. In the last section, I found some of the music, this kind of like dramatic movement, and the music in the same tone as the dramatic movement. Sometimes in the theater, they use this term doubling. So when they're both the same, it sometimes can lose a little bit of its power because there's no contrast between the movement and the music. They're both in the same vein, as it were. So I felt like that fusing of music and movement could have been, they could have been decoupled in a way. So, but going back to your movement qualities, I was quite riveted by those the few things in the very beginning, just watching you, and I'd love to see more of that. So keep going with this. And Sophie, I think that's really important too, is that I want to reiterate what Laura's saying, is that, I feel like that's why I make comments that are positive, because I think we need to, for me, I like to work towards things, and of course, the criticism is important to know what to work against, but always working towards something is the way I kind of function the way. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Cyrus. 중요한 부분들에 대한 점을 짚어드리자면, 그 움직임 첫 번째 파트를 조금 더 자기는 더 보고 싶었다. 그 부분에 대한 발전이 좀 더 있었으면 그걸 더 길게 이제 보여주시면 더 좋을 것 같다고 생각하고, 그리고 두 번째는 음악과 움직임이 너무 하나의 결로 가니까 어느 순간에서 좀 긴장이 식는 부분이 있었는데, 그런 점에서 조금 더 고민을 하셔가지고 그런 긴장감이 루즈해지지 않도록 계속 갔으면 좋겠다고 하셨어요. 그리고 로라 씨와 같이 이제 이분도 다 여러분들 모두에게 전달을 드리고 싶은 거는, 이런 코멘트가 여러분의 작품에서 멀어지게 만드는 게 아니라 여러분의 작품이 좀 더 앞으로 나아가도록 이렇게 힘을 주는 그런 말들을 하고 싶으셨다고 합니다.
So I will be the last one. I do agree with all what was said, most of the things what was said. I think I really appreciate and thank you for the great presence, choreography, and dance. I would just recommend to work a bit more with the relationship with the musician and the relationship towards the elastic and the dramaturgical point. That's the only thing, but I really appreciate the piece. Thank you.
다른 분들과 많이 동의를 하고, 조금 더 발전을 시켰으면 좋겠다라고 하는 부분들은 이제 음악과의 관계성, 뮤지션과의 관계성과, 그리고 그 유연함이라는 그런 주제에 대한 그런 부분, 그리고 드라마투르기에 대한 부분을 조금 더 집중하면 훨씬 더 좋겠다라고 하셨습니다. Oh, thank you everyone for all the comments, and thank you for the artists to be here and sharing these things. So I will make a smaller chat for only within our delegates, and we'll continue after about 5 to 10 minutes. 그래서 지금 이제 저희가 다른 또 소회의실을 만들 거예요. 그래서 지금 남아 계신 아티스트 분들과 나머지 관객분들은 영상을 하나 보시고, 우리는 5분에서 10분 사이에 돌아올 테니까 어디 가지 마시고 잠깐 앉아 계셔 주시길 부탁드릴게요. delegates, would you join the smaller chat room? I think you would be able to see some kind of a button.
Just to reiterate, the button that says leave, right?
Not the leave. There should be some button that says going to the
Join,
small
right?
room. Yeah, join
Okay.
the room. Yes.
Okay.
What does it say?
I'm trying to.
I don't see any button.
Yes. Okay. Here. Yes.
Laura, what does it say for you? Oh, they're leaving.
I see it. Breakout room. There we go.
Okay, thank you.
For some
Breakout
reason,
room.
for some reason, it was not showing before.
Okay.
Now it's showing.
Okay, now you do.
I think,
Okay, great. Okay.
I think a couple people had to leave in order for it to show.
Oh, I see. Okay. 네, 저희는 조금 이따 다시 돌아오겠습니다. 잠깐 계세요. 감사합니다.
I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous, couscous. Couscous, 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 couscous. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you couscous. Love it, 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 love. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous, couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous, couscous. Couscous, 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 couscous. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you couscous. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love, love it, love, I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love it, love, I love it when you couscous.
Terry.
왜 내가 메인이야?
안녕하세요.
이거 어떻게 옮겨가는 거죠? 저 말고 다른 사람으로 가주세요. 어떻게 하는 거지? 선택해도 안 되네. 뭐지?
바랍니다.
왜 계속 내 화면이야?
스피커가 켜져 있어서 언니만 나오는 거 아니에요?
아, 그런가? 꺼볼까?
네.
아닌 것 같은데.
출입문이 닫힙니다.
됐다.
I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous, couscous. Couscous, 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 couscous. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you couscous. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love it, love, I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love it, love, I love it when you couscous. I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous, couscous. Couscous, 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 couscous. Love it, love, love it, love, love it, love, love it, love it, love it, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, love it, love, love it, love, love it, love it, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. Love it, love, love it, love, love it, love, love it, love it, love. I love it when you couscous. messy colors. Na 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 na. This never become Christmas. I love Aphrodite, bring this kiss. Her rubber messy colors. Na 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 na. This never become Christmas. I love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Kiss. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you kiss. Love it, 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 love it. I love it when you kiss. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss. Her rubber messy colors. Na 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 na. Never become Christmas. I love Aphrodite. Bring this kiss. Her rubber messy colors. Na 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 na. Never become Christmas. I love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Kiss. Love it, 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 love. I love it when you kiss. Love it, 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 I love it when you kiss. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss. Me, 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 me. Her rapper messy colors. Na 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 na. I love Afro tighty. Her rapper messy colors. Na 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 na. I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous. Couscous.
네, 많이 기다려주셔서 감사합니다. 오랫동안 기다리셨죠? 지금 다 제 목소리 잘 들리시나요? 네, 좋아요. 그러니까 저희도 이제 고민이 많았어요. 고민이 많은 그런 결정이었고, 많은 뛰어난 작품들 사이에서 어렵게 하지만 모두의 공통적인 의견으로 한 팀을 선정하게 되었습니다. 그래서 올해의 챌린저 선정은 신은주 예술감독 선생님께서 해주시겠습니다.
열정적인 작품과 여러분이 춤에 대한 아주 굳은 신념으로 개성 있게 춤을 출품해 주셔서 너무너무 감사합니다. 모두의 그 의견을 종합해서 올해의 비담 2020년 비담 챌린저를 발표하겠습니다. 괜찮겠습니까? 손을 들어주세요. 괜찮으면. 네네네. 흔들어주세요, 좀. 네. 네. 올해의 챌린저를 발표하겠습니다. 올해의 챌린저는, 이시연 씨의 C로 선정이 됐습니다. 축하드립니다. 기절하셔야죠. 기절. 그렇지. 축하드립니다. 네.
네, 네, 축하드립니다. So we have.
네, 올해 작품을 선정해 주신 여러 멘트는 지금의 어떤 코로나 시대 온라인이라는 그런 성출과 그리고 지금의 우리 사회적 분위기, 세계적인 이슈에 잘 부합하는 작품으로서 아주 재치 있게 작품을 모든 사람들이 공감대가 형성될 수 있는 작품으로 출품해 준 어떤 그런 노력에 많은 점수를 주셨고, 그리고 치밀한 구성력과 그리고 작품의 그 주제를 끌고 가는 집중력 있는 그런 구성과 방식을 높이 평가해 주셨습니다. 축하드립니다. 예, 발전시켜서 내년에는 더욱더 조금 아까 말씀해 주신 멘트를 좀 보완하셔서 작품의 포커스에 진출해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
땡큐.
자, 비담 청춤 챌린지에 참가해 주신 모든 여러분들께 감사드립니다. 작품을 선정한다는 것은 굉장히 어렵습니다. 올해 작품 챌린저가 선정이 되었지만 여러분들의 열정과 그 참가에 대해서 깊이 감사드립니다. 어느 분 하나 굉장히 개성 있고 독특하고 어떤 자기 세계에 대한 고민이 없는 분이 없었습니다. 그래서 올해 굉장히 힘들었습니다. 그럼에도 한 팀을 선정을 해야 되는 과정에 있으므로 한 팀을 선정했습니다. 선정된 작품과 안무가에게 축하를 전합니다. 그리고 참가해 주신 여러분들께 너무너무 감사드리고 우리 함께 조금 더 발전적이고 가능성 있고 가치 있는 일을 나눌 수 있도록 기대해 봅니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for all the participators, including the artist and the delegator. We wish to go and continue to pursue the value of the beauty of dance and the art. Thank you very much.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. 모두 축하드리고 참가해주신 모든 분들께 감사드리겠습니다. 지금 여기 창에 계신 그 참가자분들은 나가주시면 되시고 제가 나중에 이후에 따로 연락을 드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 네, 이제 그 청중 참가자 팀분들은 퇴장해 주시면 되세요. 네, 고생 많으셨어요. 감사해요.
수고 많으셨습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
네, 지금 이제 다 나가지고. 끝났네요.
우후.
Always tough decision, online and offline.
Nice work, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Are you controlling what's all of the what's pushing out to YouTube as well?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot you got going on there. Control center.
Yes, it is.